Welcome back to Beyond the Buzzer, the podcast that explores the relationship between success, adversity, and balance for high-performance athletes. Words can't describe what you're going to listen to and learn today with the amazing Ed Lucas, an old friend of mine, one of the best basketball players I've ever played against, but more importantly, an amazing human. Before we get to the episode, though, please make sure you go down, you subscribe, you like, and you comment. The more subscriptions we get, the more we can continue to bring you guys great content. Enjoy the episode.
This comment that you posted,
Huh?
the person, that was crazy.
Like, normally I don't actually respond to those, but when it comes to like,
But you articulated yourself very well. It was a nice response.
yeah,
Felt like you took your time on that.
no, I saw it, and then it was just rage that just went like this, and then I was like, then my son was like, "Daddy, play with me," and I was like, "Yeah, give me 1 second." And I had to just,
But you didn't respond in a rageful way.
yeah, no, but I had to get over it. But it's because my son was there.
Yeah, but-
maybe if he wasn't there, we'd be like, "Yo," nah, but just I don't really respond to.
But
people like that.
you've also never been. I've never ever seen you get angry. I know there's venom there. 'Cause I'm the same way where like I have it on the tip of my tongue. But I've never seen you lose your shit.
Yeah.
I've never seen you, and this is like in 20 years of playing against and with you.
You caught me on a good time, like, you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, yeah, we've all had those phases, you know. But
I think growing up here, especially, everyone always says I'm like a lot like my mum.
really,
Yeah, she's very fiery and like just aggressive.
interesting.
And my dad was like the really chill one. I feel like I got the best of both.
That's good.
But it took me a long time to
Yeah.
get chill.
Yeah.
But I think like it's just because like stuff that you go through. And then,
Well, I think once you realize that 90% of what you go through you can't control,
yeah.
overreacting to that kind of stuff is just the biggest waste of energy.
Yeah, you know what? I literally had this conversation with my wife's cousin yesterday, actually.
What do you gain from exploding? You know, what do you gain from
You know-
writing a vengeful comment on that? Because then you write that vengeful comment, the guy's gonna be like, "I'm right, Muslims are terrorists." And
Yeah,
you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like,
True.
he might go see that and be like, "Wow, I'm a fucking idiot," you know, like, or he might not, but at least you've handled it the right way.
The craziest thing is my brother was like, you know what, that account doesn't even seem like,
It's probably a bot.
it's probably a bot or like, you know what, he hit me up with one, he said, what if it's actually someone you know?
Also, by the way, it could be someone you know under like
A fake, like a burner
100%.
account kind of thing. But I was like, yeah, you know what,
Like one time, I got a comment on the Rui,
this loophole, sorry. Yeah,
on the
go on.
Rui Hachimura episode we posted. Someone put a comment being like, "No one's gonna watch this shit. You guys are trash" or something like that. And like I was about to go off and make a big deal about it. Then I'm like, on the small chance it's someone on like a burner account, what I'm gonna do is I took a screenshot and I posted it on my Instagram. I'm like, "We love the hate." Carlos,
Yeah.
you're not gonna get under my head. You know? Like,
Yeah,
it's good.
honestly, that's the best way to
Of course.
react. But I feel like, cause like my natural kind of way of being, is actually quite like my mother's, isn't it? Just very like angry.
Fair. We're here
Hey,
to work out and to
edit that one.
That's not it.
First show of the day, man. But
Can I tell you something that I've always wanted to tell you, and then it's crazy full circle moment for me to tell you this now as we're doing the show. But you are the sole reason that I took basketball seriously from the ages of 14 to 15. Do you want to know why?
What?
So the last time we played, okay, right before you went to the States,
I cooked you guys. Yeah, well,
you cooked us,
Yeah.
but we won. I remember, it was like 100%. I know for a fact.
you did. You probably did, yeah.
And no.
No, you probably
we
did.
Yeah,
You
okay.
most probably did.
Yeah. You're such a little dickhead.
What?
I'm trying to be nice right now. Fuck you before I edit out the story, bro.
Go on.
And so you cooked. I played okay, but I hit some big shots. And anyway, after the game, I had invited some friends from ASL to come watch. Okay. And you, I think, left maybe a couple weeks later to go play in the States. And so for the rest of my fucking high school career, my friends would be like, "Abudi, you're good, but are you America good?" And they would always refer to you because they saw you cook. And so I had this ghost of Ed Lucas in my head for 4 or 5 years in the UK. I'm like, I'm gonna catch him, you know? And then like, I saw you play at 20. I'm like, I'm probably not gonna catch him. But but it was just so funny to have this full circle moment to then see you 20 years later here when I walked in like what, 2 years ago?
About 3
years ago, and like have our friendship be rebirthed like that. To go from competitors to now having this conversation, like it's a full circle moment. All jokes aside, like you pushed me. Like those mornings when I would wake up, I'm like, I'm chasing that fucking guy. I want to be like that guy.
It's nuts that you say that, like, because I was busy like chasing everyone, bro.
100%.
Like, I never felt like I was. I never felt like.
You were being chased?
Nah, like, because I felt like I was doing so much chasing that I'm not even there yet. You know what I mean? Like, and like I was telling my brother this the other day actually. Like,
Your brother's a trainer, right?
yeah, he's a strength and conditioning coach. He's in Saudi now actually, loving it.
That's good. He's in Saudi?
Yeah, he's in Saudi now. Yeah.
Wow.
So he went from Qatar to Saudi.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
Not basketball focused.
No, I mean it's for the club, but he got put there for basketball, but because he works for the club, I think he just maybe circles around him.
Anyway, you were saying, yeah? You felt like you weren't chasing people.
Yeah,
you weren't.
I was chasing, but I didn't feel like anyone was really chasing me or kind of like necessarily like rating me, if that makes sense.
Ed, you ready for part 2?
Ready, man.
Shout out wifey for giving us so much of your time today.
Yeah. Loving my life.
Yeah?
Get it on camera so I don't get in trouble. No, but for real, yeah. Nah,
Look,
she's been good.
I'm gonna be real. Like I didn't come with a bunch of questions prepped. Like I thought about it on the way here. I felt like today was so natural on the court, and we're just gonna pick up where we left off a little bit.
Yeah.
And one thing I wanted to discuss. So you mentioned your dad was an army guy. Is that how you ended up in the UK?
Yeah, he was actually like, what's that word? Like, it's not stationed, but he was like working for the embassy at the time in Angola, but then he had like some health issues. Okay. So then, like, they like to send out the military guys to get better, like, treatment in other countries, with South Africa, the UK, and I guess the UK was the spot for him. So he started working there, and that's...
How old were you when you came to the UK?
3.
Okay.
I don't remember anything.
You don't remember the move?
Nothing at all, bro. My earliest memory, I think, was... I went to like this English learning school, and some girl asked me, what's your name? At the time, I didn't know.
Yeah.
But I thought she offended me. So I cried.
You've been defensive since day one, huh?
Hey, listen, have to, bro.
Yeah.
Have to, man. But yeah, no, that's the earliest memory, really.
2017, I think I was like 24.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like, see, because all of these things came in like phases.
And then I remember you also had a very close friend, like you're on the Angolan team, right?
Yeah, like, and I feel like I've dealt with that one a lot better, but at the same time, in some aspects, I guess.
Yeah.
But
it's funny. I tend to deal with things like that are completely uncontrollable, like death and loss, like pretty well. Because for me, it's like that's just like an inevitable part of life.
Yeah, of course.
Things I've struggled with are things I actually can control. So I had a lot of attitude problems when I played pro in Kuwait. The only thing I actually regret is how I handled my situation there. And I think we're gonna have a similar conversation about that later today. But like, it's interesting to think about. Like, that loss should be the hardest thing to deal with, but I've always been able to kind of process that because like there's really nothing you can do.
Yeah, I feel like.
But I also haven't lost someone like losing a father or a friend. I lost my grandparents very young, but in our culture, like that, I'm named after my grandfather, so like, that was a big one for me. But I just handled, he was old and like it just made sense.
Made sense, yeah. It was just like sudden kind of thing. It wasn't like there was like a lead up to it, but there's just a lot of stuff that happened to him anyway before he passed. But it was like he got sick, got healthy, and then it was just like, so life though, man.
Similar thing happened to my aunt, honestly. It's crazy. And she was like young as well. Her kids were my age. So like my cousin was like 12 when he lost his mom, and then his dad passed away recently. So it's crazy, honestly.
Life, man.
It's mad.
Life.
And you said your dad's health issues started then. I thought it was only later on in your life.
Like, so I guess it was like diabetes, like the high blood pressure stuff. And then like at that time, I didn't know the full extent of it. Kids, parents, they like to protect you and stuff. So I guess it was like, even now I don't really get the story properly, but it was like something to do with, there was like a patch in his lung or something like that. Because he used to smoke before. That was just a thing, like Angola, Cuba. They had that like Cuban cigar thing going on, and that's just what they did in it. So I don't know if it was that, but it was just some stuff. Like we always kind of had like health issues, but he was relatively healthy, but just underlying things, I guess. So
you mentioned he was a little bit like standoffish when it comes to you and your sports career. Do you feel like maybe him going through health issues made him not want to create so much attachment to you?
Nah, you know what? These are questions I would have loved to have asked. Like, obviously, like I told you before, he wasn't really like much of a talker. He was just like just get stuff done kind of thing. But I feel like he wasn't really involved with sports stuff just because like it was new to them. Like that's that generation of like African parents that they look at sports like, yo, that's not a job. Be a doctor, like be an engineer kind of thing. So it actually did take mainly my mum a long time to kind of accept that me and my brother started playing ball and we wanted to take that seriously. And I think
your brother's older, right?
Yeah.
Did that kind of? Well, I mean, I never met him, so I don't. But did that kind of set the way as he kind of took? You know how the oldest child always gets all the shit, and then the younger one gets away with murder.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't get away with murder, so to say, because you know I'm a good guy, innit? But yeah, he, you know what? Like he actually took a lot of stick, but some of it because of his own doing. Like he was just very like rebellious, but he was a good rebel, innit? But it's just like his delivery was just terrible sometimes.
Okay.
So, yeah, my mom was like, oh, you're going to drag your brother down a bad path. Don't put the rim not too high because you're going to break your backs. And I was like, what?
That's crazy.
My brother was like, you know, he was just kind of like, just trying to set me up to be something, I guess. And he would just like run through brick walls for me just to kind of like get there kind of thing.
It's so crazy because you would imagine coming to the UK, like football is a sport you pick up.
I actually did play football.
Okay.
So before I actually played basketball, I was playing football. And a lot of people laugh at me, my brother-in-laws and stuff. I used to play in Wimbledon.
Oh, you were in a youth academy?
Not at the time.
Okay.
But it was like there was like a Wimbledon Wasps or something like that.
Okay.
Every Sunday we just
Horrible
go there.
name, yeah, okay.
Yeah, awful. The kit was even worse. So like, yeah, we played every Sunday, and I guess like I was trash. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I had 2 left feet when it came to football, but the only thing I could do is I'll boot the ball. I was a defender. That's all the ball comes to you, just get it out of the way. So I was like, cool. One game, I guess.
It's like that's like the opposite of your basketball game, though. Because your basketball game is like we said this earlier today. Like you're always in control. You're so poised on the court.
Tried to be.
Yeah,
but it's a lot.
You are that is one of the things. Like anyone watching any highlight of you, like you're even when you're going fast, you're not going fast. Like you make everything else stop, and that's so funny to hear because a lot of times football does translate to basketball. But you're saying you were trash.
Yeah, I was poo, bro. I was absolute crap, bro.
That's
like,
hilarious.
Yeah, like my team even dropped me. Imagine you're a little kid.
Yeah.
You go to the game, the coach drops you right there and then, and like one of my boys from my primary school was like, "Yo, just let me see if the coach will let me like get you on our team." So I was like, "All right, cool." Literally swapped. Turns out we end up playing against my old team, and I had a hat trick.
That's hilarious.
I don't know how that happens. And then there's a Fulham scout there. And they're like, yeah, come to the academy, blah, blah. And I was like, huh? Like, what's happening right now, isn't it? But yeah, I ended up going to the academy for like 2 training sessions, but I didn't feel it, like kind of thing. And then I felt like kind of like an outsider at that time, you know, growing up in the UK, football, you know, it goes, the racism's a bit mad, isn't it? So there was another like, you know, black dude there too, but he was kind of like okay with just kind of being treated how he was being treated. And I've never been cool with that. So yeah, I just gave up. I was like, yeah, man, I ain't going back there. I'm not going to go there to get treated like that by like other kids.
And you didn't feel that when you started playing basketball?
Nah, not at all. Because I felt like it kind of connected me to some sort of culture. Like being like a kid that, you know, mixed race or whatever. You know, sometimes people say like you're too white for the black guys and too black for the white dudes kind of thing. And I didn't know where I kind of fit at first, especially in the UK. Like obviously I didn't speak English very well, but obviously I got better at it. And yeah, basketball kind of like just linked to everything because I loved like the music, hip hop music. Basketball kind of like infused itself with that.
Basketball's a culture. It's not.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, so I felt like I was part of something. So I just kind of ran with it. And then the last straw was literally I got kicked off my primary school football team. And I was like, yeah, that's it.
For doing what?
Just not going to practice.
Okay, so it wasn't like you.
It wasn't like I was bad. It was just like I stopped going, and I was like, yeah, I started playing basketball, and my teacher didn't really like it. Miss Katerina, if you're watching, thanks. And yeah, she just kicked me off. So I was like, yeah, it's calm. Like I'll just do what I want to do now. Like, you know what I mean? I felt like with basketball, I could just make it what I wanted it to be.
And at what point did you realize, like, all right, I can be pretty good at this game?
You know what, like,
because there's not that much of an environment in the UK. Like, you know, we were lucky to play for Westminster, and then when we split, obviously Pioneers Westminster. But like, I think it was tough to be. I don't even remember you being ever in like the London and the England setup because you're not British. So I think it was even tougher for guys like you. Like I was lucky when I started to play better at a higher level. I got instantly put with the national team. But I feel like there wasn't that kind of program or setting or culture or environment, whatever word you want to use, for people that were good, great, but weren't British.
Like, you know, like I started playing when I was 6. But I took it seriously around like 10. And I didn't know anything about like basketball teams, nothing. I just thought it was like cliche, you're playing at the park, a scout's gonna drive by and be like, hey, you got some talent. You wanna come out?
You wanna come to America?
Yeah, like, you know, literally that's what I thought it was, you know, movie, Disney, this kind of stuff. And the way my brother used to gas it as well, and he's like, yeah, you know, you just gotta be good and then someone's gonna find you. And I'm like, all right, cool, let me just be good. So I was just playing at the park. Which
is also funny because outdoor basketball isn't really a thing in the UK, so you might have been lucky about where you live. There might have been something close by.
I mean, I think, you know what, I think it's I mean, it's weird. Now it's starting to pick up.
A little
bit.
But
back then, it could have been where I was living too. And like, luckily enough, like the people in my secondary school, mainly the older guys, like my brother's year and like the year below, they all loved playing. So it was like, I never really hung out with guys my age, always my brother's friends and stuff like that. So they really kind of like pulled me in, even though didn't pass me the ball and stuff.
But you learn to earn your stripes when you play above when you're younger.
Yeah. I'm grateful that I went that way instead of like playing with people my age kind of thing, because that kind of just helped me be like steps ahead, like kind of thing. And
until you met me and I started cooking you on the court.
So cut the podcast. Nah, you know what? Like it's nuts because I almost felt like I was just by myself playing basketball.
Yeah.
Like obviously I knew there was older guys, but then I was like, it was literally like, yo, is there kids like my age kind of doing this, whatever? But only when I got to, year 7, one of my classmates, Arnold Tecco and Brendan, like, they were like, yeah, we're playing at Kingston Wildcats. And I was like, what's the Kingston Wildcat? They're like, yeah, it's a team, you know, we play in the National League, this, that, and that. And at first I was kind of like, I don't know if I can do that. I didn't know there was such thing as teams. Like, you know.
At this point, you weren't playing organized, you were just chilling.
No, it was just straight street ball.
But it came to you naturally?
Yeah, I could always like kind of like, okay, I know we spoke about it earlier. I could always kind of shoot.
This is crazy because I beat him in a shooting competition today and he said I wasn't a shooter. And had he won the shooting competition, he would have said he's a shooter.
We're going to see who makes more out of 10. Pick a spot you like or at the same spot. I'm going top.
I'll do whatever you do, man.
And you go first.
No, you go first. No, I don't mind.
No, I'm going first. Fuck you.
No, you're good, man. Rock, paper, scissors, bro.
Okay, on a shoot.
On shoot, okay.
Okay, first one. Okay, ready? Yeah. 1, 2, 3, shoot. Get out of here.
Wait.
I was wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, fuck out of here. Give me a good pass too, motherfucker.
Oh, yeah, I got you, man.
Don't matter. Don't matter. Don't matter. Oh, shit.
It does matter now. I gave you a good pass that you missed. That's 2 free, right? 3 4. 3 5.
Ah!
Oh,
4 7.
4 7.
5 8. 6 9. 7 10. That's 70%.
Yeah, that's good though. That's you go back.
Fuck out of here. With camera, that's pressure right there. Shit. Stepping up. Oh, look at that bounce!
Here we go.
I'll be so happy if I win this. You have no idea.
Oh. You got 7, right?
Yeah.
There we go.
2 3. 3 4.
Oh, I saw.
Yes!
Dang.
Oh, 3 5. Oh, 3 6.
Oh, wait, hold on. We're good. There we go.
4 7. 5 8. Yes!
Hey!
Yes! Yes! Yes!
No, but this last one counts as 5 shots.
Bro.
It counts as 5 shots, right?
Okay. Oh, that's the first thing on the episode right there.
Dang.
I love that.
But,
I fucking love that.
yeah, like I was saying the difference between Jackson and Junior.
Junior was like, yeah, like I said, the dad kind of thing. I didn't really speak to him about a lot of things just because of how I.
Yeah, so it's like dad in the sense of like, I'm trying to make him proud, and I want his approval. But you're not gonna go speak to him about the girl problem or whatever it is.
Yeah, stuff like this, like really, really deep stuff. But with Jackson, he was like,
I think I remember Jackson too.
he played at Westminster.
Yes, skinny.
Leslie. Yeah,
yes,
Leslie.
yeah, super nice guy.
Yeah, super.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
So him to me, even though he was a coach, I didn't realize how young he was when he coached me until like he told me. And he was saying like, yeah, I didn't view you guys as like how Junior would view you guys. I viewed you guys as like my little brothers.
And Junior was like, they're my students.
Yeah, almost
Little
like
brother versus
kind of like you guys are like my sons almost. Like, like I don't know, Junior's like the grand poobah, isn't it?
Yeah,
That kind of thing.
yeah.
And yeah, Jackson was like, like the big brother. And even now, like I speak to him a lot. And like,
Anyway, continue your flow, fucking liar.
Like, no, like.
You could always kind of shoot, fine, believe it.
Yeah, I could always put the ball in the basket, let's say it that way.
You could score.
I could score.
3-level score.
So it was like, but I couldn't dribble, like, to save my life. So it was like, I understood why they didn't pass me the ball, but if I was open, I'm catching that, like, every time. So I was kind of like, you know what? I'm not too bad about this, basketball stuff. I can shoot it, blah, blah. And I think it's because, like, in school, we actually had, like, a netball hoop. And we actually played a lot, like, netball in primary school because they thought, like, basketball was a bit, like, violent, too aggressive and stuff like this.
That's the most British thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah,
so.
we weren't allowed to bring like basketball into school, even the small ones, because they said like if it hits you in the head, you get knocked out,
That's
go to
wild.
hospital, blah blah. So we had like the little sponge balls or whatever.
That's crazy.
And yeah,
Actually, to be fair, I guess when you're shooting on a netball court, there's no backboard, so you got to learn how to lace that shit right away. Yeah.
Like honestly, like I like every time I see a netball like post or whatever, I'm just always there just trying to shoot, and it's just like wow, like I really learned how to like shoot on this kind of thing. And my first basketball hoop was a tree.
Okay, that's crazy.
But it was like Y shaped like this. So me and my brother would play on the cul-de-sac just like straight this, and that's why I started shooting with two hands like at first, because I was like just throwing it like this. And it was cash though.
That's hilarious.
Play me one-on-one on the tree, bro. I'm whooping everyone, bro.
To be honest, you're one of the few guys. I mean, I'll cook Rob one-on-one, but I would never. Anyone would, but I would never play you one-on-one. To be honest.
No. I mean, one-on-one's one of them things where it's like anyone's day kind of thing. So.
Okay, so you start picking up 12, 13, 14. I told you the story today about how once you left for America, like I started chasing this ghost of Ed, knowing how good you could be being an American, how I never got that chance. And I got fucked with by my friends. What was that transition like when you went to the States? Did you know at that point, like, okay, I can be...
like, so before I actually officially went to the States, I went to visit like the school I was going to go just to do the admission stuff. So I was there for like about 3 weeks in Florida. Like, so I was just kind of like playing at the YMCA, the rec centers and all this stuff. And I think it was that was the moment when I was like, I knew I was good, but I felt like I just didn't have like the confidence fully to believe in what I could do. Because like everywhere I went, I was able to play, but I didn't like create that separation of like, okay, no, I'm the best person in this room kind of thing. So
people don't realize how, like, especially I say more than other sports. Like tennis is different, you're alone, but like in terms of team sports, basketball is so mental. There's so many guys that did not play at the kind of levels they could have. I think you're one of them. And I wouldn't say your issue was mental, but like if you don't have that full conviction in yourself every time you shoot the ball, like you're not gonna make it in basketball.
Yeah, none. Like, and the thing is, some people take that as like arrogance and cockiness and stuff, but basketball like it's a team game, but it's very individual at the same time. So you do have to look out for yourself. So like,
so that's what you learned when you went to the States.
Yeah, you have to look out for yourself, like 100%, bro. Like I said, I went to the rec, and I was just playing, and like against some guys who played at the varsity teams or whatever, because it was like summertime. There was AAU stuff going on, but obviously I didn't know anything about all that crap. So yeah, I was just playing, and I was like, okay, I'm hanging with these guys, like older dudes too, like those guys walking into the gym, like D1 guys, and I was just like, I can hang, like, you know what I mean? So I was like, okay, like I might be all right. So did the admissions, went back, but then like the visa fell through. I don't know why, they just denied it the first time, so I had to apply again. And I ended up going in like December.
How did your parents feel about you going?
They were a bit worried because my brother got a scholarship to go play in a NAIA school in Oklahoma.
Okay.
And I was going to go to Florida, so they were kind of worried that like the separation would kind of like cause me to like kind of like derail a little bit, or like just be super depressed and whatnot. And like I can't ask my brother, like, you know what I mean, we're just joint at the hip kind of stuff. And but it was needed. I think like I was seen as, you know, Nate's little brother, like for the longest.
You needed your own identity.
Yeah. So you know what I mean. So that kind of like helped, and then it just helped me grow, bro. Like it helped me make my own friends, like, you know, my own age group. Even though like it was weird at first because it was like I just always felt, even though like I know you personally, you know, you look at me, I'm like a big kid, but I always felt way more mature than like the other kids. So I didn't really, I don't know, I fit in, but I didn't. I just knew how to kind of be, I guess. And yeah, so I just knew, like, I think my first game, I actually joined the AAU team like quite soon after I landed. Went for a tryout, and the coach was like, "Yeah, you have to play with us." And I was like, "Okay, cool." So the first game,
You're 15 at this point. 15, 16, I remember.
yeah, 15, yeah. And then the first game, like I played well, but it was like such a like big difference in speed. Like these dudes were just flying, bro, and like I've never seen that athleticism at 15. Guys just, it's
crazy.
You know what I mean? I was like,
we used to get hyped when one person dunked in a game in London.
the
Like when
warm-up
Jesse
line.
got his first dunk, we'd be like, oh, you know, like crazy.
bro, we in the UK people get hyped dunking in the warm-up line.
I
bro.
know.
You know what I mean? Like so.
Yeah, it's like a show.
Yeah,
you know?
but seeing that in like actual game, like proper, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, this is
Different level.
yeah, serious.
But you still played well.
Yeah, I played well, but it wasn't like how I knew I could. I think I just needed to get that one out, and then like the next game I had like 42 points.
Wow.
So it was like, that's when I was like, okay, yeah.
Okay. And how long do you stay in the States?
I was there for like almost 2 years. I transferred school from Dr. Phillips to Heritage Prep because
For what
of like
reason? Higher level or?
nah, it was like I guess I moved houses and I didn't realize like, you know, the whole school zone thing. Like
Okay.
I guess the school realized that
You weren't living
I
in
wasn't
the zone
there
or
because I guess
something?
they were sending letters and stuff like this.
Okay.
And then yeah, I had to move. So that's the only reason. So, but it was a good move because I think at Dr. Phillips, I ended up not playing the first year I was there because it was like came December, I couldn't do nothing about it. And then I was supposed to do the summer league with the schools stuff, but I was gonna travel, but I didn't end up traveling. So when I said like I'm still here, they were like, oh, it's a bit too late. So I was like, cool, I just played AAU. Ended up having to try out again for the team like the following year. And they made me, like, it was weird. I was practicing with varsity, but they made me try out for the JV team.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was nuts. Like, but literally, it took like 5 minutes.
And they put you back on.
No, and the coach was like, yeah, you don't need to be here. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. But then the weird thing was the season started and I still wasn't like with the varsity team. And they had me playing the 4 on JV. So I was like, I tried out as a point guard. I'm at the 4 kind of thing. But I guess for them, they saw it like, oh, you know, he's kind of tall.
But you're not like, I mean, coming from me, you're not that tall.
I'm not that tall, but it was like, and then I was,
Especially in America, those dudes are born like 6'9".
yeah, but I was like, I was able to jump like off one kind of thing, and I guess that's what they saw, but it didn't make no sense to me. So yeah, every time I caught the ball in the post, I was just going out
That's
to the 3-point
hilarious.
line and just. But yeah, they didn't really like play me that much afterwards. So I, like obviously then I moved and I transferred and I played varsity at the other school, so that helped.
Okay.
Like yeah,
And then you didn't think about going the college route.
I did, but it was like so much happened, like in Florida, that I just got really homesick.
Okay.
And I told my mom, like, yeah, I don't want to be in the States anymore. Like, I actually want to go back to the UK.
Can you unpack that a little bit?
Like, it was just, obviously, being away from my brother. Like, whenever things were bad, like, I could speak to him, but it wasn't the same, like, having a guy there kind of thing. I couldn't really speak to my mom about stuff, you know. I could, but, you know, she would give the mom advice, like, which is fine.
Yeah, but it's not what you need
But it's
sometimes.
not what I needed. And then, like, I saw, like, you know, in the UK, like, basketball started kind of rising up a bit. Like, I remember there was a Midnight Madness, I think it was 2009.
Oof, yep.
Yeah, that one, I was like, dang, man, I'm missing out. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and it made me just miss being back home. And
That's the story I told you earlier today when Algo put me with the men, and I was like, man, that's like the biggest compliment I've ever gotten in my life. So there was a movement in the UK, I remember,
Yeah,
to be
there
honest.
was. It was on the rise, like, and I was like, yeah, I kind of want to go back, be a part of it. And I started seeing other guys going to the States as well. So I was like, okay, the States are still in the cards. I'll just go back, you know, kind of like send videos out and just kind of like get in contact with the right coaches. Obviously, Coach Jackson Jr., Coach Nama or like the guys kind of helping me, like you know what I mean.
They're never gonna say no when someone as talented as you wants to go back, right? They're
Yeah,
gonna say, come
like
back
they
home.
want to help. Like so, I ended up going back, and I was supposed to go like to Masters Academy, but that kind of fell through. Obviously, like my dad ended up getting sick. Literally the day I landed. No, I was there for like a week. Yeah, the day my mom lands, he was supposed to fly in from Spain. Then turns out he didn't get on the flight, and we're kind of like, oh, okay, what's going on? Blah blah. They called a hotel, and like the hotel owner was my dad's friend. He was like, yeah, dad's been rushed to hospital. Like they found him like unconscious in the room. Blah blah.
And this is when he first went to a coma.
Yeah, so it was like basketball for me. Just all of a sudden, just like was like okay, like
You can't think about.
I can't think about it. Like you know what I mean. So I was like, oh, okay, like you know.
And it's crazy how like life had brought you back there.
Yeah.
Before it happened.
Yeah.
And so you were actually able to be there already for your dad when it happened.
I mean, no, he was still in Spain.
He was still in Spain, yeah, but at least closer to home.
But closer, yeah, a lot closer. So like, yeah, I was just devastated. Like obviously now, like the breadwinner, like is not gone, but like you know he's sick. Like how am I gonna pay to like go to school? I don't work. My brother doesn't work. My mom didn't work. Like we ain't got no house. I'm just literally bouncing around different like friends' houses, just trying to like survive, you know what I mean? Like, and yeah, Coach Jackson tried to help me out with that, and I couldn't afford to go to school. And I told them like, yeah, like it's a no-go kind of thing. And at first they were talking about a scholarship, which you know, I was like, okay, that works.
Did they, when your dad was in a coma, did they say anything about like this is short-term, long-term? It's what induced it? Did you have any idea what was going on? And did he stay in Spain as well?
Yeah, he stayed in Spain. Supposedly, like I guess he had a stroke.
Okay.
And then I don't know how soon after that he developed pneumonia. So it was like, I don't know which one was the main cause, but I'm guessing it was the stroke. But he did so much for us, like probably just like a lot of stress. Like, you know, he was always like, just like traveling, trying to like do right by the family. And like the craziest thing is back then, I didn't realize a lot about my dad. I thought he was just always like had the job kind of thing. So only when he passed away, my mom started like spilling all these secrets out. And turns out he didn't have a job for like the longest time. Like, so he was just trying to like find
anything to do,
next gigs. He was like a middleman for certain businesses, but then people start cutting him out, going straight to the, you know, like it was just a lot of stuff. So I understood afterwards why it probably happened like that. And yeah, it was just.
Do you think him being sick, him passing young has affected the way you are with your son? And your daughter, but primarily your son, because again, you sent me that video and I saw just so much love, right? And you said obviously there was love between you and your dad, but he wasn't someone that you would go and speak to.
Yeah, it was like.
I feel like you already have that relationship with your son, and he's like what, 6?
No, he's 4.
4.
He's massive, but yeah, he's 4.
He's tall.
Yeah. Like it's weird. Like I try not to be the old school dad because I want to be the new school guy, but I feel like I have bits of both, and I tap into both kind of sides of it. But I'm really trying to be a lot more vocal with my son than my dad was. But yeah, I think it did affect it because like losing my dad and then having a son first, I just kind of saw it as a blessing because like the amount of love I had for my dad, that God blessed me with a son that I can give this love back to him and he can give love back to me like how I gave to my dad kind of thing. And then obviously like my mom got sick. And then I had a daughter. Your mom got sick recently? Literally right after I got married, bro. Like a week after I got married. I guess she got into like a car accident. But I don't know if it was the car accident that, bro, it's just weird. It was weird. Doctors don't even know what was wrong with her. Like she's been through every hospital. They still don't know. Like she just like, she had symptoms of a stroke, symptoms of like dementia. Like, and it's just, they said like she had cancer at one point, but then it wasn't cancer. There's a whole bunch of stuff, bro. We went through the whole book of like medical whatever, man. And then to go to the point where they were just like, yeah, it's just a unresolved case. But I guess she was like one of the first actual COVID cases in the UK before it became.
Is she still with us? She's still alive?
Yeah. Okay. She's in Angola now, living with my aunt. Like she was one of the first COVID cases, but before it was actually known as COVID.
Yeah.
So that whole ward afterwards, like she made it out of the intensive unit or whatever.
I see you, yeah.
Yeah, and then they locked off that whole ward because everyone started getting like
That's crazy.
all these things. Yeah, so it was nuts. But
So let's go back to keep it chronological. So you go back to the UK and you're bouncing from house to house. And I guess at this point, obviously basketball isn't something you're thinking about because you're dealing with the fact that, you know, you don't know how much longer your dad has, but at the same time, you have this weight on you where it's like, I got to start making some money.
yeah.
And so that's why you decided to go pro right away.
Like, so when that happened, it was my first year back. So I still had a year left at under 18s. So I was still kind of focused on going back to the States. But I couldn't see anything past the States after that because, like, that's just what everyone talks about, the States.
It's it's crazy, by the way. It was always this, and maybe that's why I had this, like, why I chased you so much when I was growing up, because it was always like, America.
Yeah.
You know, you got to make it to America.
Yeah, like that's like the Golden Gates, like the, you know.
It's different now. But
Yeah, it's different now, yeah. But like, yeah, I was still focused on the States, but I was just trying to get like some sort of
Stability.
academic scholarship to go there. I couldn't pay for nothing, but I wanted to just make sure that if I'm gonna keep playing ball, like it has to be because I'm trying to like make something of myself. I don't want to just be that guy who just playing just for, okay, this is fun and whatever. Like I said before, like it stopped being fun once that happened. Even before that, to be fair, like, but that was like the moment where the switch to like completely flipped. And yeah, I played that 1 year under 18s. And my mom, obviously being in Spain, she went to actually go like speak to some teams there for me. And she spoke to Estudiantes, so I went there. I did like, you know, the tryout, whatever, with the under 18s, the under, I think 19s, whatever, other teams. And it went well.
That's pretty crazy. That's a fucking high level, especially compared to the UK.
That's my only regret in my basketball career, you know. I don't regret a lot of things.
Yeah.
But basically, they told me, like, I could play under 18s, I could play in that second team, but anything to do, like, they had like a men's B team as well. They were like, anything up there, you'll get like 0 to like 5 minutes maybe. And so I was like, okay, thanks for letting me know, but I'm not going to take it because I want to go finish my studies and stuff like this.
I don't think you should regret recognizing that you had different goals and that you weren't in a position to not really make money and also sit on the bench and not develop. Like, I don't think you should regret that.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
easy to look back and be like, well, if I'd stayed there, I'd be playing ACB in the highest level and I'd be, you know, in EuroLeague. But like, Ed, basketball took you around the world, man.
yeah,
You know? And we'll get to it, but like, you had a pretty crazy career. Whether or not people respect how good you are, whether or not your talent level matches the teams you played for, everyone that knows you and has played with you knows how fucking good you are. Still, to this day, right?
I mean,
You're 32, bro, not even. Like, you can easily go back and play pro again. So like, I don't buy that. I don't buy regret on your career.
No, I mean, I'd
Outside
say,
looking in, though, it's different.
yeah, I'd say it's just because like I didn't give it a chance. I guess maybe I should have gave it a chance compared to like going back, because after that I went back to Westminster, and the first thing Junior said, he was like, "Yo, so how was it, man? What did they say?" And I was like, "Yeah, I can play under 18s, the other team, but anything men's 0 to 5 minutes." And he was like, "So you're gonna go, right?" And I was like, "Nah." I turned it down, and he was like, "What?" And I was like, "Oh snap!" So that, you know, it was a big what if at the time, because now, like, obviously looking back at it, I was like, you know, playing for Westminster, playing for the Estudiantes, at least for like a year, would have been like, who knows? Maybe it would have went really well. Maybe it would have been really terrible. I would have stopped playing. I don't know. But that was one thing that I wish I kind of like tried to just do for a little bit. But obviously, in the grand scheme of things, I don't regret anything because, like I said, I met people, experiences, and all this stuff, and it led me to where I'm at now. And
So where did the pro career start? First time you got a contract, got paid to play basketball.
In Angola for Primeiro de Agosto.
Okay.
Like, and even that one was funny too because I was still stuck between going to a JUCO or like making money. Like, and I actually denied. I said no, I don't want the contract the first time, and they were kind of like, "Really?
Are you sure about this?
Yeah," because they called me out there for a tryout. I was supposed to be there for like a month, but they gave me the contract in like a week.
Wow.
So I was like, "Yeah, no, I still want to go to school." And I was literally,
You're like 19 at this point?
no, I was 18,
18,
that
okay.
time, and then I was literally driving back to the hotel. No, first I accepted it, and then I was driving back, and then I was like, "No, Mom, I want to go tell him I want to go to school." So I told him, And they were like, okay, yeah. But I mean, the contract's still there if you need it. Like, if you really want to come back, we'd love you here, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, cool. Wait a couple months. And then I was like, you know what? On my 19th birthday, I'm going to decide, like, if I want to sign it or not. And then, 19th birthday came, and I was like looking around me in the living room, living on some dingy apartment in Norbury above some like chicken and chip shop. And I was like, yeah, I can't do this, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I need to make some money, man. So signed it, the tears, everyone just happy, blah, blah. And yeah, that's all she wrote, really, man. From there, it was beginning of a long and challenging journey, but
Walk us through it.
it was just having to prepare now to be a pro.
To be a man.
To be a man, yeah. Like, I'm
At 18,
making
at
money,
19,
bro.
yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? It was nuts. Like, I'm going to have to get a bank account. Like, I'm going to have to manage my finances. Save, like, you know what I mean?
Send some back home.
So, yeah, you know what I mean? So it was like, it was nuts to me because it was like, now I became the primary, like, breadwinner. And it was literally everything was dependent on me. At that age, I was like, this is nuts, bro. I remember my first pay came in. I was crying at the ATM, bro. That was nuts, bro. Yeah, like, but it just kind of like...
Kind of made you mature right away, huh?
Yeah, and I didn't get to... I mean, I got to enjoy, like, you know, the early years of pro, but then you really have to, like, kind of, like, stay grounded because you can get lost. And I was teetering on getting lost at one point, I can't lie, because I've never seen money like that before. So I just, like...
You stayed in Angola for how many years?
6 years.
Okay, so from 1925, you're in Angola, and this is where you're saying, like, you had moments where you maybe teetered off a little bit.
Yeah.
Hadn't met wifey yet.
No, I met her way before that.
Okay.
Like, we actually met each other when I was 17.
Okay.
So, like, 'cause her family basically... No, her sister is friends with my brother's wife.
Okay.
So they invited me over to an iftar one time. And I went, and then it was just...
Like that. Okay.
Like, you know, how the movie described
That's
it, man.
hilarious.
Yeah, bro, so that's how I met her.
We'll get into you and Sally in a bit,
Yeah.
but okay, so 6 years in Angola. And then France?
So 6 years in Angola, then I went 2 years in the BBO.
Okay.
And then...
How did it feel playing back home after time away?
It was cool. I think it was needed because literally that year that I had previous to going back to the BBL was like, my dad passed away before the season started, obviously. And it was very hard, like, to like deal with being there in the same house, in the same country, like doing what I did for him.
While he was still alive.
While he was still alive, to just be there. And like...
Have him not there.
Yeah, it was nuts. Like, so... To my mom, like, yeah, I think it's time for me to just bounce. And then, like, the money situation in Angola got a bit weird. Like, the currency exchange was, like, nuts. So I was like, I don't want to be here just making monopoly money. Like, I want to go back, you know what I mean? So...
And the money was decent in the UK? Because, I mean, my perception of the BBL is, like...
I mean, at the time, with Royal was being a new thing. Like, there was supposed to be, like, this new investor. It was, like, the money was good. Like, they had us in these nice Croydon apartments. Some guys got the cars and stuff like that. Like, it was good. Like, you know what I mean? I guess the Royals did actually have issues supposedly with the BBO in terms of like their budgeting and stuff. Like people's contracts were supposed to be nuts. So yeah, it was good. You know, like I liked that I was back in London. Like, I think it was a good stop for me to go back to London first. I couldn't imagine myself playing at like a Leicester and being in the UK. I would have just felt weird. Like, you know what I mean? So,
but at this point, you're 26, 27, which is like a prime years for a point guard. Are you itching inside to maybe go see how good you can be elsewhere? Or had you started to already feel like maybe you weren't respected on the court? I saw a beautiful comment, sorry to interrupt, from Sally, wifey, on the, and we'll get to the Africa part, but when you played in the BAL, which is like so talented, underrated, or so talented, not respected, or something like that. So I think this narrative about you not being respected for how good you are has been around for a long time. Yeah,
from before I even started playing pro though. Like, I always felt like I wasn't really given like the respect and stuff like this. But at the same time, I cared, but I didn't. Like, I liked being the underground guy who like just show up somewhere and just like destroy you.
Cook, yeah.
Yeah. So d
did you cook in the BBL those 2 years?
Like the first year, I think I was like top 3 in 3-point percentage. Like I was getting like 18s, 20s. Like I played against some team in Wales. I had like 30 something. Like I was like considered one of the better 2 guards in the league. Like for those first 2 years.
You were playing the 2.
Yeah, because I played the 2 my whole pro career.
Okay.
Like my coach, my rookie year, he was like, he scored too much to be a point guard. So, and I was like, but they have to play defense.
You
and he
are
was
a
like,
walking bucket. I'll give you that.
man, it was a lot of years put into that, man.
Yeah,
So
I know.
yeah, I mean, I looking back on it, like I actually hated him at first for doing that, because I was like, I'm a point guard, and like I see all these point guards in the NBA and like they're scoring, like, you know what I mean. So I was always kind of like, why can't people see this is what basketball is?
Yeah.
So but
Positionless, really, to be honest.
yeah, but at the same time, I thank him for it, because now I didn't have to worry about anything else but just score the ball on it, and that's what I like to do. So it was like, you know.
Are you still? Do you still love the game when you're in the BBL? Are you still happy waking up and hooping?
Yeah, I was happy because I was at home. My brother was the S&C coach at Royals, so I was
Strength and
with someone that I knew.
Yeah.
Guys that I know from London. Obviously, I come back in the summers, you know, and just like play with them. It was basically like the Midnight Madness like travel team.
Yes, I
like
remember.
you know what I mean. So
Yeah.
it was like it was cool to be around. And then Junior was the head coach, so it was like
Shout out Junior.
yeah,
Amazing
like,
guy.
Yeah, we were at Palace as well, and like I played at London Towers like after Kingston Walker. So it was like it just felt like I was home again.
Yes,
You know what I mean? So
yes.
yeah, I did. I loved it. Like. And
Towers was a great court.
yeah, ooh, amazing. I mean, they had some dead spots in that swimming pool next door.
Yeah, but like it was like you were in an arena, you know, for the first
that was
time.
my first time ever experiencing like
Yeah.
a big like basketball court like that. But so it was nice. Like
And what made you leave after?
Leave
you
Royals?
Leave London after 2 years in the BBL
so I did 2 years
for Royals.
for Royals, but the second year they actually folded in January.
Oh, that's crazy! You were there when they folded.
Yeah, it was nuts, bro. It was a crazy
What
time,
the
bro.
fuck was
we weren't
that
getting paid. Like
We spoke about this with Carl last week, Sam and I, when we shot the episode. It's like, you know, people take advantage of the fact that we love the game, so they think it's okay to get away with not paying us. It's like, that's not how it works.
That's not how it works, bro. Like at all. Like I understand you guys have difficulties, but
You made a fucking contract.
yeah, you made contracts.
You have a family.
Yeah, like that has nothing to do with me, respectfully. Like what you guys are kind of going through. Like pay me my money.
100%.
So
So
yeah.
you folded halfway through your second season. At this point, you're 27.
Yeah. So I was just like, okay, I don't really know where I'm gonna go after this. I could go back to Angola.
Why are you not trying to chase the dream in Europe? Go play for your EuroLeague team.
Like
That is your level. That is how good you are.
I didn't have an agent
How do you not have an agent 7 years into your career, dude?
because I was doing everything by myself, and a lot of agents, like it comes with the respect thing as well. They didn't respect me. Like I remember there was one agent from Europe.
Okay, so this is a consistent theme. Like what is driving this? What do you feel like is driving people's
Yeah, I
lives?
think
Is it
it's because, like-
you're so sure of yourself that you don't take shit? Is it because did you ever get in a fight on a team? Was there something that triggered it?
Nah, sorry. I think
good.
it's like the respect thing. I don't know. Maybe it's just my demeanor. Some people kind of tell me that I have a very like I don't give a fuck kind of look. And I
But you're a fucking teddy bear, dude.
Yeah, that's what I think too.
Yeah.
Like you know, many people in the UK being like, you know, Ed, like I used to think you were an asshole, and I was like,
It's crazy.
what makes you say that? And it was like, you know, you just never spoke, and I was like, yeah, but you never spoke to me either. And they were like, yeah, but now that I have, it's
Okay, so taking
okay.
yourself
Like,
out of the
what?
situation and looking in it from let's say like from a higher self, do you understand the perception around you, or do you still not get it?
I understand in a sense where it's like, you know, they see Ed Lucas. A lot of people don't know me, so and they see like, oh, I'm a name in basketball in the UK, so they think I'm standoffish. Like I don't want to like, you know, be around the people, but it's far from it. Like I get
so
it in
far
terms
from
of
it.
like, you know how people just look at like people that are in the limelight in the light, but as much as I've been in that, I'd never liked it also, just because like I don't like people thinking that of me also, because like I've been on both sides of that, like where it's like, you know, not being in the light and just having to like work and like, you know, have to try and like knock on these doors to get in with the elites and stuff like that, and I've been on the elite side, so I know how these people feel, so that's why I can't be standoffish, like, you know what I mean? Like obviously I'm not gonna take no disrespect, but same time, like if you have questions, if you want to come speak to me, I'm all ears, like, you know what I mean?
So then let's go back to being 27, finishing up with the Royals, knowing that what's preventing you from maybe going to Europe is getting an agent. Why don't you try and seek it out? What held you back?
I did
Okay.
seek some agents out. And one guy actually told me, he was like, "Oh yeah, you want me to be agent?" I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Okay, what's your favorite NBA team?" And I was like, "Don't really have one." He's like, "All right, if you had to pick between Lakers and Celtics, who would it be?" And I was like, "Lakers, I guess." And he's like, "Okay, I'm gonna try to get your Lakers contract." And I was like, "What? Like, is this guy serious?" kind of thing. Like, and then it was just nuts, bro. I was like, "Bro, I'm literally here just trying to like work for your agency," innit? So I hit up a lot of people, and I think what it was like playing in Angola. Like a lot of people were unaware of what Angolan basketball was. There's some high level dudes out there, bro. Like the league was amazing. Like money was good. The Americans that would go there were good. Like
The national team also, and to this day, is still pretty good.
like they've fallen off a little bit, but now they're kind of coming back. But the OGs of the national team, amazing, bro. Like, you know what I mean? But because
And you're part of that, obviously, at one point.
It's in Africa. They look at it like, oh, there must not be anything over there. So even if I send the highlights, I know they're not looking at it just because as soon as they see Angola, they were like...
They see Angola, they see a type of court where like the net's not pristine and the court's a little bit different
like,
color. Same thing happens in Kuwait, by the way. I played on the same court as the number 15 pick in the 08 draft, Cedric Simmons. But you see the court and you're like, no way Kuwait League is good. Anyway, it's not about me. So I understand what you're saying. So you're in this situation now where you don't have a team and you're trying to find an agent, but don't you still play in France for a little bit?
No, so after the team folded, I was still in the UK, and one agent actually hit me up. He used to play for Lions.
Okay.
And he was just trying to help out, and he got me the Lions gig.
Okay.
And I played like 3 games before COVID hit, literally. Like so.
Wow.
Then, yeah, COVID hit, and it was going so well, man. I had my first like double in my professional career.
Rebounds or assists?
Rebounds, bro.
Okay, that doesn't surprise me. Assists
it surprises me.
Assists would have surprised me because only time you pass is off pick and roll. Otherwise, you're shooting that shit. And only when the roller's wide open.
Wide open. Yeah.
A couple times on Sunday we're playing, and I'm like, this guy knows I can shoot. Give me the ball. I'm like, let's add, bro. Just let him fucking do his thing.
My fault, man. So yeah, I get to Lions. It was nice, and I felt like good about it again because it's like now it's like the main team in London. But yeah, COVID just hit, and then
what was that like? Because I retired right before COVID hit. Right before COVID hit. So I didn't have to like worry. Like I got my old job back like that, and alhamdulillah, and like I didn't have to deal with the stress of, well, am I gonna play again? Where am I gonna play? No one's playing. You know.
I think COVID definitely took its toll on people, especially like me. Like I said, the social anxiety thing. Like coming out of COVID, it was nuts. Like, but only once they kind of open up the courts again, when you can go out. It felt nice because it was like, oh, I used to do this, like go to the park, get shots up, and it kind of like, it actually helped. Helped get the love back. And then obviously at that time my wife was pregnant.
I was just doing the math in my head.
Yeah, so it was like, it kind of was more of a motivation. I was like, oh damn, I'm about to have a son. Like, you know what I mean? I want him to like, see his dad like playing, blah, blah, blah. Obviously he's still gonna be young, but I'm doing this for him now as well.
Okay.
So like, I was super motivated, man. Like, working out every day, like outside the park, blazing heat. Like I even did like a shoot one time for some newspaper talking about like coming back out of COVID and just training and stuff.
Are you still under contract with the Lions?
No, at that point no, because I guess all the contracts like ended, and then they were going into the BCL the following year, so they were going to do new contracts.
Okay.
But I was still on the radar. They wanted me back, obviously, but it's just there was no contract yet. So yeah, then obviously once everything was kind of lifted, there was still restrictions, obviously no fans, but I signed another contract with Lions. 1 year. I always after my just 1 year, because you sign more than the 1 year in jail, bro. Well, I mean, it depends on if you have a good gig, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I signed that 1 year. And I was really motivated, man, like, put in the work. I saw the roster that they put together, too. Like, they had, like, 2 ex-NBA guys, Byron Mullins and Liggins. So I was like, okay, nice. And then they brought Derek Williams, Kevin Ware was there as well. Like,
shout out Kevin.
Yeah, shout out Kevin. That's my guy, man.
He's a great guy.
My dude. Like, his uncle was actually my first ever basketball coach.
No way.
Yeah, Marlon Capers, bro.
That's crazy.
Nuts. Like, and I saw him there at the practice, and I was like, wait, why are you here? And then he was like, my nephew. And I was like, wait, what? Like, it was just nuts, bro. But
that's wild.
Small world, man. But,
yeah, he's a great, great dude. That episode didn't get as much love as it should, but it will one day anyway. Yeah.
Inshallah. But Yeah, it was going good. Like, went to Denmark, we went to Belgium, played against like the Bachen Bears. I forgot Ostend, whatever in Belgium. Had,
And,
like,
and you're playing well.
Yeah, I'm playing well. I'm like coming off the bench, but having like 20 plus point games, like, you know what I mean?
Okay.
And like they had a meeting with me and they were like, yeah, like we're happy with your performance, like really surprised, you know what I mean? Like just keep going, blah, blah. So I was like, okay, yeah, this is the year. And then they told me like, obviously, like they expected like me, Dirk, and Justin to kind of be like the scorers, like kind of threat. And then I was like, okay, nice. Like,
Great.
I didn't ask for it,
Yeah,
but it's
yeah.
what you want to
Yeah,
do for
yeah.
me. Cool, I'll do that role. And then I guess we get to the first game of the BCO, and I'm just not playing, bro. So it was like, what? Like, you know what I mean? Like, and,
First game. What about second game?
no, we got knocked out. Like, we played against was it a Lithuanian team? Can't remember now, or a Serbian team, and we lost like I think by 1 or 2.
And you didn't play.
I played like probably like 2 minutes, and I was so like surprised because like I had like a heck of a preseason playing against like similar
top-level
competition.
teams, yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
So at
that's
this
something-
point, did you go back and have a conversation, or did you kind of?
yeah, I mean, I just kind of asked like first I spoke to my agent just to ask like, yo, like what's have you been told anything, blah blah, and he's like, nah, I'm surprised too. I'm not really sure what's going on, and I was like, okay, cool. I mean, I guess now I have to just look forward to the BBL stuff. And he's like, yeah, just keep your head up, blah blah. And then BBL stuff started coming in, and it was kind of like similar as well. And I was like, wait, like what's happening here, innit? And no real answers. I get told like, oh, your mentality is not the same. Like, I think now you having a family has changed your priorities.
Is there any validity in that, or was that an excuse?
I feel like it was an excuse. And
Did you react well publicly? And when I say publicly, like, did you let them know you were pissed when you weren't playing first couple games?
yeah, I mean, I spoke to like Andrea, rest in peace, like Coach Dave, just kind of like aired out like how I felt, like with Vince as well. And yeah, he just sent me a message back about all that stuff, and I was just so like taken back from it. Yeah, like I was just like what, like
Okay.
it doesn't make sense. Like obviously, like at the time, COVID, only like one person could like leave the house or do certain things, and I was like the one that was nominated to take my son to like do like his appointments and stuff. Obviously, he's a newborn, so there's a lot of appointments that you have to go to. So like, but I would always let them know, and they were aware, obviously. So they were like, yeah, it's okay, blah blah blah. But it was never affecting like the basketball side of things. Even at practice, nothing. Like, so I was really confused, bro. So then it got to a point where I'm not even suiting up. Like, yeah, I'm just at the games, bro. There's probably a picture out there of me like a ski mask, just like sitting in the back like this.
That's crazy.
Yeah, just not suiting up. So yeah, but it didn't stop me from like
Working out.
Like,
I had a similar experience. I mean, I didn't have a son to take care of, but I also got aired out. And then the reason I'm asking questions about your mentality is because I let everyone know I was pissed, but not in a mature way. And that's where I think my career teetered off in my second year.
Yeah, I think I'm all for confrontation, but at the same time, I'm like, I need to maintain a job.
Yes,
So it was
course,
like, yeah, I know.
So you did a good job of doing that, and them not playing you and then not even letting you suit up was like a reflection of them.
Yeah, I'd say so, because there was teammates like that kept telling me like, yo, bro, I've been speaking to the coach. I don't understand why you're not playing, but they keep saying that
It sounds so familiar, dude. I've I lived this.
Like, so it was a bit nuts, but I went to practice. I did what I had to do, like gave the first team work if they needed it, and I just wasn't playing. But then when I did get to play, it was like near the end of the season. I played like 10 minutes, I had like 15 points, then I wouldn't play again, and it was
crazy.
like.
What people don't understand is like you can't just like walk away from that contract,
Yeah, you can't. Like at that moment in time, I couldn't. Like I was telling my agent, like, bro, like get me something else, but he was like, it's gonna be so hard now, like just because of COVID, all this stuff. Like the budgets are gonna be a bit lower, and like you won't get the same money going somewhere else.
Okay.
So I was like, cool. Like, but
Are you at least able to balance all this with like playing for the Angolan national team?
even then, the respect there was gone, bro. Like it was nuts.
When Reggie was alive,
Like
God rest his soul, did he at least help you?
he like with the national team, it was weird. Like my first year on the national team, I did the whole summer camp, wherever. We got to Madrid. I got to the final like stage, and they cut me. Like, and it didn't make no sense. I mean, it did for me. Like obviously, there was like a kid there, like a year older than me, but he was like basically like the coach's son. Like he didn't do what he was like they expected him to do, but I did what they didn't expect me to do. But at this point, I guess like coaches are always gonna have favorites, innit?
Of course.
So I didn't get picked, and then before that, they kind of made an excuse that supposedly like I was doing madness like in the hotel, bro. Like, and I was like, oh yeah, pull up the videos, like pull up the CTV. There's cameras, right? And they were like, nah, we don't need to do that. But I feel like they were just looking for an excuse.
Okay.
So yeah, crazy, bro. Like, so then the next year I go to the national team again, but I tear my hamstring. So it was like every time I went to the national team, something would happen. The only time I got to play was when we went to India to do some like Lucifonia games. We went to Egypt to do like a tournament there with Ittihad, something like that. A green team, whatever. Came second in that tournament. Then I ended up getting injured again before the World Championships. I tore my hamstring again. And then I rushed back too early. The doctor was like, "No, you're good to go." We're just having a walkthrough, and my teammate.
And by the way, like if the doctors should know if they tell a player that, like, khalas, I'm gonna go play.
But the thing is, I had that mentality, but at the same time, I was like, nah, but I'm still not feeling right. And then we were having a walkthrough, and for some reason, my teammate just decides to push me, like without me kind of like knowing. So my whole body just kind of like loose, and then I tear it again, bro. Like I was like, brother, like what? So yeah, the national team's always been kind of weird with me. Like I think they looked at it like, oh, he's always getting injured or whatever, blah blah. But at the same time, I don't feel like that was a good enough excuse, just because like in the season, I was playing well. And I saw like sometimes the list that they would bring out to the people who go to the camp, and I'm like, these guys don't even like play for the teams. Like they don't do nothing the whole year.
And was Reggie part of the team?
Yeah, he was part of the team. Like he was the first
and so if this one of the star players who's clearly taken you under his wing recognizes that you're better, was he ever able to have a conversation? Or
I mean, he told me he spoke to like the coach a couple of times. Well, they had like a new coach at that time, American dude, and he was like, yeah, Ed is like he's very talented. You could see him being like Carlos, like Moraes, like he's like the GOAT basically of Angola, like two guards as well, like, and like they play very similar, so he could be like the next thing. And I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. And then I remember like I actually picked up the coach from the airport, took him to his hotel, and he was asking me about national team stuff, and I was like, yeah, just kind of, watch your back. Like obviously, just know that you know how it goes. Like players, like you're foreign as well. They're gonna kind of look at you a bit sideways. So I was watching his back, and he was like, yeah, I respect you. You can do, you have your spot here. And I was like, cool. But then we get to practice, and it was like, I wasn't allowed to do what I do. Like so, I was just like. I asked the assistant coach, I was like, bro, like, why am I here? Like, why did you guys pick me? Like, if you pick me from watching what I do, but now I come here, I'm not allowed to do it. Like, what exactly is the reason? And he was like, sometimes, man, like, that's just how it goes. And I was like, that's not enough for me to understand. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so, yeah, I end up rolling my ankle in a walkthrough because someone... Like they dribbled baseline, and the coach told me, "Yeah, just cut off the baseline." And for some reason, he threw a pass, and I rolled my ankle, so I'm out again. Like nuts, bro. And then that following summer, he messages me, and he's like, "Yeah, I want you to be back on the national team."
This is the coach.
Yeah, like but on like a 22-man roster. And I just told him like, "Look, respectfully, like, because of all my experiences I've had with the national team, I'm not saying like." Get me on the team, but I need to know if I'm going to actually have a fair chance of making this team, if I'm going to be allowed to play my game. Like I don't want to just waste my summers when I can just be doing something else that's more beneficial, like for my game, my career. I don't want to just be another number on the roster to just help other guys like work out. And he was like, I'm sorry that's how you feel about your fellow country mates, that they're not up to your level, and you're way better than them. And I was like, I'm not even saying that. Like I just want to.
I'm not gonna have a fair chance. Yeah.
So after that national team, they wiped their hands on me. Like, but they'll still post like about me saying, "Good luck with the Angolans playing abroad." Ed Lucas, this that, and I'm just kind of like, what? Like,
that's crazy.
So, but I mean, I still respect them. Like, I wish the best for them, obviously.
Did you feel like you also detached once Reggie passed away?
I've been detached for a minute, to be fair. I used to let it get to me a lot because I wanted to represent my country, you know what I mean? I was born there.
Who doesn't, yeah.
And, but then I started seeing like all the politics and all the things. I was kind of like, I just want peace, bro. Basketball brings me peace. I don't want to be around that. So, yeah, I detached quite early. But I still, like, if I get the opportunity, I'll still take it. Like, go there to a camp or whatever. But as long as I just have an opportunity, bro. That's all I ever asked for. But after that, they never really called me back. They'll be like, yeah, you ready for the national team stuff? And I'm like, yeah, just, my name is called. And they're like, oh yeah, don't worry, it's going to be there. But in my head, I'm just like, it's probably not. So yeah, I don't really worry about that stuff now. Now it's for like the next generation, like kind of thing. Like,
I also feel like you're kind of ready to be done with the game.
Yeah, man. I'm tired, bro. Like mentally.
It's a bit sad though, dude.
It is. It is very sad because like as much as I feel like I've given everything I could, the things that were out of my control just
prevented you from reaching the levels you should have.
Yeah, I feel like, especially with national team, like there's a lot of exposure, like these tournaments, and I feel like if I had that at least under like my belt, a lot more of it, it could have like opened up more doors. Yeah, but everything happens for a reason, man. Like, can't cry over spilled milk. Like, you know what I mean? So,
Are you passionate about personal development, like for younger players, the coaching that you do?
Like way more. Like the same passion I feel like I had for like playing basketball and developing myself. Now I feel like I have that same fire for
Really?
For that, yeah. That's why.
So that's why you think the stepping away isn't a big deal.
Yeah, it's not like. I mean, it is. It will be because
of course it is. We spoke about this in the court. Like it's an identity crisis.
Yeah,
like, who am I without the game?
I'm used to being in a certain environment, doing a certain thing, waking up to certain stuff, and to step away from it, as much as I want to, it will still it'll take its toll. You know what I mean? So, but I want to channel like this energy, this new fire to like helping other people. I've always wanted to help other people. Like, I always said like my calling is way greater than just playing basketball. Like, so.
I mean, you sit here and you talk about all these things that would break most people, and you're speaking about them with a smile on your face, and like it's remarkable, honestly.
Yeah.
I wonder how much of this also helps with the fact that you have a beautiful situation at home.
Yeah, like that definitely helps. Like, if you ask my teammates when I finish practice, like obviously I like to shoot around a little bit, but I like to get my shooting done before the practice. So as soon as that whistle blows, I'm out, bro. Like, I just want to get home. Like, you know what I mean? Like, granted, I still sit in the car for like 15 minutes just to like be like, okay,
yeah, of course,
going in for the kids, like kind of thing. But yeah, it helps me kind of detach as well. Like, on the court it's one thing, but once I get home, bro, I don't watch basketball. I don't think about it. I don't really have the time to think about it, really, because I have to think about what my kids and my wife wants to do.
Before you had kids, Sally was understanding about, you might be living here, you might be doing this. Mm. Like, she understood the grind of the hooper, and not really.
Yeah, I mean, she understood as much as she could. Obviously, if you're not really going through it, you're not really going to get it properly.
Of course.
But like, she understood that I could be here one time. Next month I could be over there if I lose a contract. Blah, blah, blah. She got it, but as in like getting it properly, like
no one does. That's not what I'm asking. I'm asking in terms of like, did that, you were at least, even when basketball was not stable, your relationship and your situation at home was.
Yeah. Like she keeps me grounded. Like she always like kind of makes sure that I'm okay, like ready to go for like the next day kind of thing, innit? And like she's the biggest supporter. Like
you can tell. I mean, that comment was so beautiful, right? Like
bro, she's hilarious, bro. Like she's ready to just like fight.
I was gonna say, I feel like she'll swing if she watches you play and someone like fouls you. I feel like she's up there.
Bro,
just
she is like any comments she sees, anyone says something, she's the first one like, yo, you gotta clap back. And I'm like, I appreciate it, like I appreciate, but obviously I can't be a certain way. But you can tell like she really cares about just my career, and like she sees, like she's seen everything. Like she knows how unfair some things have been, and like she believes that I deserve a lot more. And it's nice to have a partner that like is backing you like that, and it kind of just makes you feel like you're not just doing this and wasting time kind of thing. She sees that you're actually like trying to go for something. You're trying to provide for your family, or just trying to like just be the best you can be. You know what
Was
I mean?
she, again, to refer back to that picture and also kind of wrap up the basketball part of it because we didn't talk about it. How was her support system for you when you were playing in the Ball Above All League and when you also got disrespected on a more public level, let's say?
The BAO, you mean?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, BAO.
She actually was there.
She was there?
She was there.
Where were you playing?
We went to South Africa.
Okay.
So she went there for the conference.
Wow. And you had, at this point, Khalifa?
Yeah, Khalifa and Alia, but they were in the UK with her grandparents.
Okay. So she came with you to South Africa.
Yeah.
And I don't know how we're going to embed this in the picture, but again, when I spoke to you this morning, like I saw that picture of you and you just looked depressed.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I was finished, bro. Like,
Done.
I was
fuck
there.
this game.
I was there in body, but like, I was like a shell of a man, bro.
Even the video, dude, you hit a three and you're just like not.
I mean,
not,
to be fair, I don't really react anyway.
I know, but like I know you, right?
Yeah.
Like I can, you're smiling, but I see pain in your eyes. Like, it's
Yeah. Like, it was that season was just strange, bro. Like, going into it, like I said, I got there kind of late for preseason, and we had like a cup game, I think, the following week. So I didn't play the first 20 minutes of that cup game. But then when I came on, I had like 22 points in 20 minutes and we won. Like, and I just kind of took it like, okay, it's first game, maybe because these guys have been here, blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, it's like a championship game. Like, play your best guys, and especially when the game's going like this. But yeah, we won. Then the next 3 games, like, I was playing well. I had like 16 and like another 18 and another 20-point game. And then we go play at this one court. I kid you not, bro. The rim was like 8 feet. And I got there and I was like...
Even I'll be dunking.
Hey, bro, like, I was like, how are we going to play on this? And they were like, you just got to hoop. And I was like, okay. Like, I started warming up. Obviously, I'm not making nothing. I was like, bro, how am I supposed to do this? But I'm not trying to make excuses. Because, like, my teammate had 36 and he was shooting all threes, fam. Like, but I'm missing everything.
Yeah.
And then I guess the coach kind of gets mad a little bit. All of a sudden, supposedly, if someone goes under a screen, I'm not allowed to shoot it. And I was like, bro, like...
That's the number one rule of basketball.
Yeah. You're going to go under, I need to shoot.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, we don't do that here. And I was like, okay.
I've been doing it for the last 5 games.
Yeah, like, it was nuts. And then literally the next practice, he stops the practice and he's like, hey, Ed, another teammate, Glofat, I can't remember who else. They're not allowed to dribble the ball. They can't call plays. They just stand in the corner and they catch it. They have to shoot or pass. And I was like, where is this coming from?
Yeah, what
like,
the fuck?
What's happening, innit? But the thing about me, throughout my career, I've played at all, like, positions. Like, I've been a bench warmer. I've been a 6-man. I've been a starter. So I know how to, like, navigate through those things. So even though he said that to me, I was like, okay, I'm going to be the best I can be at catch and shoot stuff. Like, and I was still, like, I was top 3 in scoring on a team with limited minutes. And the guy who was averaging more than me was probably averaging like a point or 2 more than me. And he was playing like 38 minutes, bro. So it was like, I was playing like, imagine 16 minutes. Like, crazy.
Given your understanding that your calling is much more than basketball and that you always want to help people, what lessons can you take away from the adversity you faced in basketball?
Like, nothing lasts forever. The bad times will go, and most of the time the bad times do happen to kind of teach you something, like, you know what I mean? So that's one thing I always try to show people, that struggle isn't necessarily there to put you down. It's there to, like, lift you up. Like, when you go to the gym, you're struggling to lift the weight. Yeah, you might not be able to lift it at that point consistently how you want, but that struggle is the struggle that's going to be able to, like, help you lift it the next week. Like, you missing all these jump shots one day at practice, but because you're just consistently going at it, you'll be making all these shots the next week. So don't run away from the struggle, kind of thing. Like, the first thing people do.
Do you think also, sorry to interrupt, but do you think also the adversity you faced off the court, losing your father, your mother being sick, losing your essentially big brother, best friend, has that also shaped your desire to give back and to be more present? Yeah, for sure. Like, especially like with Reggie, because he gave me so many, like, gems, bro. Like, the post you put when he passed away, like, I could tell that there was some learnings there, man.
Yeah, like, he was the first one, I'd say, to, like, really believe in me at the pro level. Like, and if you knew Reggie, he doesn't just like go with anyone kind of thing. So if he's like speaking to you, like, you know, like you're going to his house, like you're eating dinner together, it's because like he actually cares.
Which means
like,
you sit down and you take in what he's saying.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? So if it wasn't for him, and I don't know if you met Cedric Ison. He's in Abu Dhabi, like he runs, I think, Game Time Sports. Like them two, like without them two, I wouldn't have carried on playing, bro. I would have given up that first year, bro. Like, yeah, they kept me going, bro. Like a lot. But Reggie, especially just because like I was always with him. So I never had someone like give me all that like encouragement, like just like I said, knowledge and all that stuff. And I feel like learning from him is what's made me able to like teach other people, and I want to just keep passing these things on. Like,
do you feel like that's why you handled his passing better, because you feel like the learnings you got from him you can actually just then pass on?
I don't know if I dealt with his passing better. You know,
This morning you said you did.
I'm in terms of like, I kind of compare it sometimes to my dad, right? Like, I think maybe because obviously it was my dad, like, you know what I mean? I was unrecognizable, bro. I was the angriest dude on earth.
Angry, so anger was
Like,
your emotion, not sadness.
Yeah, when my dad passed,
Yeah.
I was angry. Like, I was angry just because of like the way things got dealt with, like at the hospital, because he kept getting sent back and forth, and then he went there again, and then yeah, and it was like I was angry because
Angry at life, or just like,
yeah, I think it was life, and because like he was the main reason why I kept playing. Like, I wanted to give like my parents an easier life because he did so much already. So losing that why, it made me question why. Like, you know, so like why did he go at this time? So I was pissed, bro. Like, I thought I was sad, but I had to turn it into something. And that following season, I was geared up to have the best season of my entire career, bro. I was like, no one was stopping me, bro. No one was like checking nothing, bro. Like,
I know you when you go into like cold killer mode. It's
yeah,
like, it's
it was
a very
nuts,
scary
bro.
thing to
Like,
be around,
it was like that kind of started seeping into like my personal life.
Okay.
I was very just angry. I was shutting everyone off.
Are you married to Sally at this point?
Nah, still like just like dating. And yeah, I just didn't want to be around anyone. Even my mom, like, you know, it was hard to be around her just because I'm used to seeing them both together and just. But I was there for her. Don't get me wrong, but it was just tough. Like, so I got injured, and at the time I was like, why? Like, bro, I'm hooping, bro. But then I just saw it as God trying to humble me, give me some time to actually reflect on who I'm becoming. And this is really the person I want to be.
So the anger kind of fades then.
Yeah, it fades, and I started kind of actually processing the grief instead of like just lashing out and
So the
taking
injury
on
was a
people.
good thing in that sense.
Yeah, bro, I almost fought my coach mid-game that season.
That's not the one I know. You know,
Like, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, it was straight up like gonna be hands, like, you know what I mean. But and this crazy thing, he's probably my best coach I've had at the pro level as well. He just let me just hoop, bro. But it was just I was so triggered at that point. Like, anything anyone said was just gonna, like, you know. Granted, he was still saying stuff that was wild, but
Yeah,
it was
but
just like,
I mean, so anger when your dad passes, and then what about when Reggie?
with Reggie, it was a bit of both, but it was like really sad. Like, it was just because like.
Couldn't believe it, right?
Yeah, it's just because I was literally with him like before, like probably like 2 months before I was in Angola. I only got to see him one time, and imagine I didn't see him for like a good 6 years, like in person. And we would talk like here and there on WhatsApp. He'd always change his numbers, go missing, like kind of thing. So yeah, it was nuts. Like the lead up to it, when I look back on it, it was crazy. Like, my brother gave me Reggie's jersey that he signed for me, but he didn't give it to me at the time. I can't remember why, but yeah, he gave it to me finally. And I messaged Reggie and I was like, yo, I finally got the jersey, blah, blah. I was just like, I don't know if you're going to reply, blah, blah, but I'm just letting you know I appreciate it, man. It means a lot, blah, blah. He replies like straight away, and I was like, after like so many years, bro, like, you know, he finally replied. So we're talking. We start kind of like getting back into each other's lives again. Then also I go to Angola. I miss like his birthday because of training and all that stuff. And I literally see him like 2 days before I fly out. And I was like, yeah, man, let's have these plans. Like, let's try and like, I was talking to him about the skill development stuff.
The stuff you're doing now.
Yeah, and he was like, yeah, I'm down with that. There's a lot of things I want to pass on, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, like, I would love to have you like involved, you know what I mean? Like, and I always wanted him to just leave Angola, bro, like, because I don't feel like it was a great place for him. But, he felt comfortable there. He had his people, his friends and stuff, so.
How did he pass, if you don't mind me asking?
So, like, it's a bit complicated, but it was like, I guess he tried to commit suicide, and
you had you didn't get any sense of this?
Bro, like, he literally messaged me when I was putting my son to sleep, and he said, I love you, kid. And I was like, I saw it and I was like, I'll get back to him, because if I pull out my phone,
yeah, when you're with your kid,
my kid, he's gonna be like, hey, Daddy, what's that? So I was like, okay, I need to reply to him. Obviously, I'm putting my kid to sleep. I end up falling asleep, so I wake up and I was like, hey, I love you too, man. How's everything? Blah blah, all this stuff. So I'm like, send it, and I was like, cool. Then throughout the night, I was kind of like, Reggie
saying
that. Like, he normally has these moments where he would like message me and like middle of the night sending me random songs. Hey, listen to this, man, or
yeah, but like I love you, kid is like, I guess looking back at it, you can maybe feel
I was like, and he didn't reply, like, so I was like, okay, let me message him again. Messaged him, just be like, yo, what's up, man? Like, sorry, I didn't get to reply on time, but let's get on a call. And then I was literally there in the living room. I was with my kids, and my wife was gonna go to Reformer Pilates or whatever. And literally, as she's about to leave, my Instagram just refreshes, and I see his picture. So I was like, oh, Reggie posted something. Then I was like, R.I.P. Then I was like, what? I just went into the room.
Take your time. Sorry, bro. You good, bro? Don't worry. It's all right, bro. It's all right. Don't worry. You want to take a sec?
No, I'm good.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, like, yeah, I just went into the room. I looked at my wife and I was like, bro, he's going in it. She was like, what are you talking about?
She knew the depth of your friendship with him? Yeah.
Yeah, she knew the test for sure, bro. He got me in bad trouble, man. He'd get me in so much trouble, bro. Like,
just by virtue of you being, around him and busy and stuff, or
yeah, being around him, like, he was he was a great influence. Like, yeah, we go out after games and stuff like this.
Yeah.
I was always with him.
I'm sure he'd be very proud, my man.
Yeah.
I got no doubt about that.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, yeah, took that one hard, bro.
Man, I don't see how you could take it any other way, my man. It's not.
Just like.
It's one of those ones where you just question, like, why, you know, like it's tough to get an answer there.
Yeah, it's tough because it's like, you know, like he helped me through like my darkest like moments, bro. Like, and the fact that I couldn't.
I think like, and I have no idea what you're going through, and I don't know if I ever will, to be honest. But from what I understand from people who've come out and spoken about similar situations, it's like it teaches you just never know what someone's dealing with, right?
Yeah.
And I can't imagine that sometimes maybe your mind goes to places like, oh, if I just responded, like it's beyond that, dude. Like you can't ever have those kind of thoughts. You can't ever wonder if you were there or not there. Like,
yeah,
I think the fact that even in his final moments, him reaching out to you is indicative of how much he did love you, right? And I think you can take a lot of pride in that.
Yeah. Like when you look back and question too much, it doesn't help. Like,
No,
I was doing that for a long time. Cause like he like back in 2016, like I tried to like commit suicide myself, bro. Like, so literally at his apartment. It's not even funny, but it's rich.
And he was part of
he like I was literally about to like jump off his balcony, bro. Like, and because he went to the kitchen to try and make us some food, and he just like stopped me in it.
What was going on in your mind at that point? Was it basketball related? Was it life related?
Just life. Like, I just felt like I'm doing so much for others. No one's doing that for me, kind of thing.
It's crazy because this morning when I told you how much I looked up to you and how much I chased you, your response was like, "Oh, I never thought someone was chasing me."
Yeah. I think it was just I got thrown into a lot of things early. Like, you know what I mean? I had to deal with it by myself. So it was like I didn't know how to navigate like life properly, like as a pro, like just a man in general, like just going from like having to deal with all that stuff, and like I just wasn't happy, like, because even though like everyone's got a why they play, the why took over so much that I just didn't enjoy it as well. And yeah, I just felt like I was just kind of just here, bro. Like, yeah, I just wasn't happy at all, bro. And some people
How did you build up your happiness after that?
I don't know if I did like build it up. I just kind of survived. Like, that makes sense. I just kind of kept just going.
1 foot forward.
Yeah, just taking a day at a time. It was rough, bro. Like I said, some people, you know, everyone's rough and struggle is different, and some people look at it like, oh, you were hooping though, like you were doing.
No, that's bullshit, dude. Everyone has their own internal battles. And,
but it was like, I just couldn't deal with it all.
Well, thank you for sharing. I think people who listen at least will find solace in the fact that, like, even when it gets dark, there's ways forward. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
And look at you now, right? Like, let's smile a little bit. Look at you now with two beautiful kids and doing what you love, wonderful wife. Like, it's not easy to come back from those kind of steps and then give so much, dude.
Yeah.
And like I see the way even your kids you train look at you, bro. They idolize you. This guy just running around watching us hoop for 2 hours, asking you for a Gatorade, like.
Yeah, no, it's obviously I'm definitely in a better place, like, for sure. Like, but that time, like, yeah, it just wasn't great. But like I said, just foot forward at a time. Like, obviously you still kind of have your moments where you just kind of, you know, you spiral a little bit. I'm an overthinker in it. Like, I'm just like.
I think everyone in our generation is.
Yeah.
People
like,
just aren't honest about it.
Overthink, overcare, and you know, so Yeah, but like, nah, it's my kids drive me, you know, my wife drives me, my family. Like, a big thing of mine is I want to see my grandkids. Like, you know what I mean? I want to meet
That's
my grandkids.
beautiful.
'Cause I never met my grandparents. Like, I mean, from my dad's side. So I want that for my kids as well. Like, and for myself, like, firstly, innit? But yeah, like, that's the only thing that I think kept going through my mind. Sometimes even till now, like, you know, like, he was there for me and I just wasn't. But he was always, like, closed.
I was gonna say it doesn't seem like he would have let someone be there. You know.
Yeah, no, he wouldn't. Like, yeah, he wouldn't. Like, he would, but he wouldn't. Like, he would have, like, moments where he would, like, share stuff. But it wasn't rare, but it was. Like, if he's messaging you at, like, 6 a.m.,
Yeah.
it's because he's sharing some stuff. So, I just didn't know it was, like, to that extent. Like, but you never do know.
You never.
You know,
I mean, you never do. Right.
yeah. So, you know, but, you know, now, like, you know, there's times where I get emotional about it, but I can look back and, like, laugh about a lot of things, like, whenever I talk about him.
I have a friend, a very close friend, who dealt with a lot of mental health issues before it became cool to talk about it, and before it became known and understood and respected. And a lot of times he would question, like, why he had to deal with the stuff he had to deal with, and, you know, why couldn't he just have, like, regular thoughts like the rest of us, whatever. And what I always tell him, and what I still tell him today, is, like, you were put through those things because you're strong enough to now talk about them and help other people. And I will never claim to understand what you're going through or what you went through, what your daily life is like. But what I will say is the fact that you're still here today means you are here to help people. And so when you say your calling is bigger than basketball, I think right there you just showed why. It's not easy to talk about that, right?
Yeah,
I didn't even, you know, I didn't know any of this. And
Like-
I'm like squeezing my feet so I don't start crying too. So we don't just start both crying on camera, because it's like the only thing I can tell you is thank you for sharing, but more importantly, like, let your experience allow you to help other people.
Yeah, I definitely think it is that. Like, especially, you know, when you're overseas, obviously I was, you know, helping my parents, they were living with me. You have a lot of alone time. You think a lot, like, you really do a lot of soul searching, like, trying to understand why you are the way you are and all these things. And yeah, I think that helped a lot. Like, you know, I'm not shy about who I am, kind of thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the stuff I've gone through. Because, you know, like, I've learned that speaking about it does help, and it can help others as well. Like, not just myself, and like, some people look at me and they're like, "Oh, I would never afford that." So, you know, if you're like that, like, it's okay. It's not okay, but it's okay to feel this way, and it's okay because things will get better if I keep trying on it. So I'm big on the mental health thing.
So so now looking back, after you've now just shared this with us, when you say the biggest learnings you've had are that nothing bad lasts, is this also part of it?
Yeah, for sure. Like, nothing bad lasts. Like, obviously, it doesn't mean it's gonna stop.
No.
But just know that there is better days. Like, there's a lot more in life for people, you know. Like, there's just more, man. There's more. Like,
There's more than the thought in the voice in your head that tells you all the things you don't want to hear.
yeah, there's more. Definitely, like, and just, you know, just living the life I live now. Like, you know, having kids, like, get married, like, you know what I mean? Like, my mom got to meet my kids, like, you know, just traveling the world with them. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's more. Like, you know what I mean? You know,
And look at the world bringing us back together 20 years
you know what I
later.
mean?
It's wild, dude.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff, like, so it's like, yeah, just, you gotta keep going, man. Like, you know what I mean? There's more out there for everyone. Obviously, it's harder for some people to see, but you really gotta just try and push as much as you can. Like, that's what, you know, like I said, I wish I was there for him to tell him that stuff, but, you know, everyone has their time anyway. But, like, you know, the crazy thing is, like, yeah, like, he tried to commit suicide, but he didn't actually, like, end up going through with it.
Okay.
So what actually happened was, like, from what the coroners and stuff say, is, like, he basically drowned. He had fluid in his lungs, like, because he was, you know, I guess he was trying to, like,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, he didn't actually, like, and it's crazy. Like, it's a sensitive topic. Like, obviously, I don't want, sometimes it's hard for me to talk about it, but because obviously he's got family and stuff in it. But, you know, it's out there. Like, he's my family too.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, clearly, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not trying to like disrespect no one though, but it was like,
I don't think anyone would see any of this. First of all, we don't need to post any of this, but I don't think anyone would see this and think you're disrespecting.
Yeah, well, like, you know, I kind of gave me a bit of grace knowing that it wasn't like you didn't go out
like that. Yeah.
So even though it was the intention, but
but you know, I think it's a beautiful way of thinking about it.
Yeah. So, but yeah, you know, alhamdulillah, like, you know, I got to experience life with him for a long time.
And now
like,
you practice a lot of what he taught you.
Yeah, man, the good stuff, the good stuff for sure. Like, yeah, he was a great guy, man. Honestly, like one of the best humans I ever met, for sure, bro. Like one of a kind, bro. Like honestly, one of a kind. And he was just in the crucial years of like my career, like my life as a man. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, that's why he was very influential, man. For me, like I always tried to walk around with his like confidence. And the crazy thing is, he'd always tell me like, "Man, I wish I was confident like you." And I was like, "What, bro? You're like." Could you imagine like Megatron and Optimus Prime had like a love baby, bro? And that was him as a basketball player, bro. He could play 1 through 5, 6, 7, like
that's amazing.
Just built lefty, like dribble, could shoot.
That's amazing.
Post out, yeah. So it was like unstoppable, man. Like best player I think I've ever like witnessed in person.
Wow.
So yeah, for him to like be in my corner, it just boosted me. Like,
yeah, of
like, you know
course.
what I mean? Like
100%.
But then to hear him talk about confidence, having confidence issues, I was like, what? Like, but
again, lesson that you just never know.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you are like in that arena and you should have all the confidence in the world, you deal with imposter syndrome. Like, do I really deserve the attention I'm getting? Do I deserve the career I have? Do I deserve the happiness I wake up and feel? Those are very normal things for people to go through.
Yeah, no. Yeah, but yeah, he shaped my career for sure. Like I said, without him, it wouldn't be who I am like right now, innit? But yeah, if I had to do it again, like definitely, like he'd be the number one person I'd pick to play with again, boy. Like, yeah.
So wrapping up, all this said, all these experiences you've had, still at an age where you could play, but also being at peace with the fact that you don't need more. What's an ideal next sort of step for you over the coming years? Is it being more present as a dad, being there for both your kids, as a husband? Would you take an opportunity to play again, or are you very much comfortable with like, I'm good for now?
I feel like I have this conversation every year, you know. Like,
I ain't fucking leaving.
I swear, bro. Like,
we spoke about it. The Toxic X.
Yeah, Toxic X, bro. Like, yeah, I do want to just focus on the skills development stuff, man. Like, I really, really love it. Like, I stay up late nights, like formulating workouts, bro.
Whiteboards.
Like the whiteboard.
I was so mad you didn't bring it today. I
bro,
told my mom,
sorry.
I'm like, bro, get that shit on camera.
My fault, man. Like, because I have like a lot of stuff on my phone, like most of my workouts. But I had this book. I had to find it home. It was literally a book of workouts, bro. Like, just there, innit? Like, and just, so yeah, I just want to really push the skill development thing, like, because I know firstly I can do it, and I just love seeing people get better. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's fulfilling. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I want to give people the chance to like be the best they can be. And I'm not saying I'm gonna be the one that's gonna make them get to the NBA or something, but you know what I mean? But like, just like,
but even that right there, you saying that is self-limiting. You might be, Ed. You don't know that, dude.
yeah,
You don't know that. You might be one of those coaches that's like, you know, back in my day, I was this, but you actually mean it because you were fucking nice, you know? So, like, why don't you also work on your self-talk? Because you could be fucking great at what you're doing. The same way you were great at the game.
I know I'm great.
Okay,
like,
good.
at that for sure.
Good.
But I'm just saying, like,
Yeah, you never know. Fine.
But
One thing you're not great at is shooting threes from the top of the key. You are never going to live this down. On camera, we're posting that shit in the episode. Rob's smiling out. I cooked your ass too, motherfucker. I am the shooter.
Rob, do you want to switch seats? Nah, like, skills development for sure. Like, I wouldn't turn down a contract, but it just has to actually make sense. But I don't want it to be the forefront of what I want to do. Like I don't want basketball to lead my way anymore. Like as in me playing anymore. Like especially like out here, I want to like just build like a better skills development thing. I feel like there's a lot kind of lacking. There's a lot of academies, and not to like, I'm not shaming them or anything, but
The only good one in the Middle East is called SD13, Sam Douglas.
yeah.
You can vouch that, can't you?
Is that where you gave him work?
No, SD13 is my co-host, Sam.
Yeah, I know, but that's why you gave him work.
I gave
remember
him work everywhere. You know.
I know, but it's international work.
Yeah,
But-
exactly, international. Look at him shaking his head. We told you were going to catch strays. We told you.
But
He's going to go home and post videos of him cooking. So look at him nodding his fucking head.
yeah, like, you know, but I'm talking about like mainly out here in the UAE, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like, yeah, there's just like a bit of a gap there. Like, obviously everyone's trying to make money. I understand that, but I want it to be more than just that. I don't want to just get like mad kids just in here. So like
10 kids in one session, dribbling a ball, but you're making your back. It's not about that.
It's not really about that. So I'm just trying to like build on that. Like, because basketball's growing here as well.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to.
That's why it was nice to see that kid again, the Gatorade kid, because he was like telling you with such a smile on his face. He was like, "Man, Ed, like I played 2 hours yesterday, and now I'm playing again today, and I'm gonna sit here and watch you guys, and I'm gonna shoot after." I'm like, finally,
Yeah,
you know?
Lil Mo.
Lil Mo
the Menace.
He subscribed to Beyond the Buzzer.
Oh, yeah.
As should you, everyone watching. My last question for you, and obviously if you got any questions, feel free. I know you asked a couple this morning, but for me, last thing is like, if you had to choose 3 words that you would want someone to say when describing Ed Lucas, what would those 3 words be?
I'm trying to like, you know, I'm not good with this whole.
You're thinking in Portuguese, huh?
It's not even that. It's just like I'm not good with the self like kind of praisey kind of stuff. I know, but you know what I mean. Just I'd like to say like
I can say
genuine.
3 words. Okay, go ahead. Good. Genuine.
A friend, like, oh, that's 2 words, but you know, friend. I don't know, bro. Like, I think like there's a lot of words I can't really put into 3, but I want to say like a sentence, maybe like, you know, a genuine friend, like who cares about people, like who just wants the best for everyone, like, you know what I mean, like always thought about others before himself, like in every situation, and even to the point where it's to a fault.
Well, so I was gonna say I don't think you can be there for others unless you're there for yourself first.
Yeah, for sure. That's what I'm saying. Like even to a fault, bro. Like, but you know, like just a big heart. Like, you know what I mean. Like,
You want to hear my 3 words for you?
go on.
Poised, present, and kind.
Always present and kind. I appreciate that, man. Like
I came prepped with that one.
I always just, you know, it intrigues me like to hear what people think of me, just because like I've just had so many different opinions on me. Like, not that you should care about opinions, but not that I care because I know who I am. You know what I mean? But so to hear certain things sometimes it's like, oh, okay, like I'm a good person, or like people do actually like kind of like, you know, they like me, like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I told my brother the other day, like I always find it like almost like not bittersweet, I don't know if that's the word, but like when people message me on like IG, like guys who are like, you know, they're playing at high levels now, younger guys, and they'll be like, man, like you really like helped me, like, you know, watching your highlights, the infamous Westminster Warriors under 18s, part 1, 2, and 3. Oh, sorry, like, you know, the socks, like your whole thing, like the way you carried yourself, like, you know, it really shaped me, bro. And I'm like, damn, me, like, bro, like, I'm just a kid from Angola who's raised in London.
A lot more than that, my
like,
man. I told
you know,
you.
but you know what I mean, though? Like, it's just, you know, it's just weird. Like, it's nice, but strange. Like, I've literally hit OG level, bro. Like,
You're a vet.
yeah, I'm proper vet now, man. People,
But even as someone who's like your age, I can tell you like Like, I love you. I look up to you. I think you're a wonderful human. You wouldn't be sitting across from me if you weren't. And like, I can tell you that as much as I want. I can send you that text every single day. But like, it goes back to what I said, which is you got to tell yourself that first. And you got to know that, right? Like, I'm telling you that you made me pursue basketball. I was chasing you for years, Ed. And that's one person. You're telling me you get these messages on IG. You got your kids now. Like, Rob looks up to you. That's your son right there. Like, but I'm serious. Like,
It's all right, Roman.
It pains me to know that this is something you don't know about yourself. Like, you were so respected. I told you on the court. I'll tell you again. I told Lewis I had you on today. He's like, I have so much time for that guy. You know how much of an amazing compliment that is? When someone says they have time for you, time is the only thing we spend without knowing our final balance.
Yeah, nice.
Right? You know that.
Yeah.
LGA Lewis telling you, a guy who spends his time helping everyone, saying, I got time for Ed. That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Nah, man. It's just, I don't know. It's just, it's nice to hear, obviously, like, I appreciate it, but it's just like,
I know.
It's like, wow, like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I've never been good with like taking like compliments or like just hearing like really nice like things like that.
So I got a challenge for you then.
Yeah, I think it's because like, you know, you're always like a harsh critic, and especially athletes, bro. Like, you know, it's like,
well, that's how you get the best out of yourself.
Yeah. So I think it's just the whole hindsight thing, and you have to really look back and just deep that, you know, look at the footsteps you've taken, like the path that you've led for other people, and I think now, like, kind of like stepping away a little bit from like playing, I feel like I'm starting to see it a bit more, like, just because people are just reaching out. It's weird. Like, especially this last year in the UK, playing at the Cavs, like, I was playing against some of the kids like that. Well, not, I don't want to say kids, but, you know, younger guys that not in my generation but probably watched me or whatever, and I'm just seeing them like flourish and stuff, and I'm like, it's nice to see, bro. Like, you know, I'll even send them messages, or I'll post them on my story and be like, yo, this is one of my favorite guys to watch, blah, blah, blah. And then they'll hit me with a message, and I'm just like, wow, like, didn't know that they thought that of me, kind of thing. So I'm never gonna be that bitter old head, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I can't.
We had plenty of those in the UK growing up. Yeah, I know.
Nah, nuts, man. But
so my challenge to you, and how we wrap up, is that when I get you back on here in a year, 2 years, 3 years, whenever it is, and when the Ed Lucas Academy is blowing up all over the UAE, you come on here and you say 3 things that you love about yourself and 3 things that you would like people to describe you as. And that's how we go forward.
challenge accepted, man.
Deal?
Yeah, deal, man.
I love you. I'm going to give you a hug.
Thank you for coming on, bro.
I appreciate that. That was big out, yeah.
What's this?
Before I forget as promised, it's it's rich. It's a BAO shirt.
That's sick.
Because it's where I didn't have the best of experiences.
Okay.
But it's a shirt that it still means a lot to that one. It still means to me a lot.
Appreciate that. If you made it this far, thank you for watching. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to us on YouTube and all podcasting apps.
And make sure you follow us on all the social media apps. Another one in the books, baby. Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.